If I have to make a rustling sound, do we need to start again?
I don't know. You're digging into your paper purse.
Actually, at first I fake laughed, and then I completed the laugh. I don't like that you don't have a mic. I don't like that you have a mic that's so much trouble to use. Oh, God, it's going to be bad. I told my therapist, I can tell when it's going to be bad. No, I can't say that. That's the wrong way to go to therapy.
Yeah.
I can tell when I ruined it all. First of all, happy holidays.
Thank you.
Where are those? Are those outside?
Yes, they
That's
are.
beautiful.
Why, thank you.
That's very nice. Aw, you have lights
I do.
in the backyard.
I do. It's porch lights. They're nice. I like them outside the house, but not for the public.
Is it because you don't want to
I don't want a Christmas tree because of my Judaism. And I had them many years with Allison, and my lack of enthusiasm finally wore her down to where she felt like it wasn't worth it. We've been over
That's not the way you want to.
No, she doesn't want it at all.
Yes,
and
because
she's not begrudging about it. It wasn't that I humbugged her so much. I mean, there was a couple of years of that. But then there was a couple of years where she got it and went, yeah, this is really just a pain in the ass.
But the other years were a pain in the ass because you were complaining about them the whole time.
I didn't complain. No, so not
did.
you.
So that would be what I would do.
I just abstained.
Yes. Susan brought up to me, did we want to have Jewish symbols out this year?
Yeah.
And I have no connection to the Hanukkah. None. Zero, baby. Who is this guy?
I think that the menorah sitting out unlit is a perfect symbol of my Judaism.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing. In other words, well, the problem. I mean, it's already clear.
We try sometimes. Allison actually likes it as much or more than me.
She likes because of the burn.
menorah lighting,
right? Well, you don't like it at all.
I don't. Well, there's some truth to that. But at least it's like happy, Hanukkah's a happy memory holiday.
That's for true. That's for sure.
So the nostalgia is not one that I'm avoiding.
Well, I'm avoiding because remember, my two big hits of my life are, Mom, do you think if I put this stocking up that Santa will come by and put something in it? Give it a shot.
I know how that's like a central scar of your life.
Give it,
and it's not. I just can't abide that it should hurt that much, Andy. It's pretty funny, first of all. Secondly, a Jewish mother has no obligation to make her kids believe in Santa or protect their kids' belief in Santa. None. It's a Jewish house. I don't care how Jewish it was.
My God. I can't. I'm sorry. This got more. This got more than I knew was bubbling below the surface. Okay. Then the other part was when I believed in Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And then my friend said, "There's no Santa Claus." I said, "Let me ask my mom." Mom, Bobby says no. She goes, "No, of course, no Santa Claus." Like that. Don't you?
You heard me when I went, give it a shot? Did that signal any belief to you?
I don't think you realize that some years we had Christmas, some years we didn't.
I think give it a shot was a way of her breaking it to you easily. And
No, she could have put things in my. That's the thing. It was inconsistent. We did have Christmas some years.
All right.
And I'm telling you, your son's going, you think if I put this stupid thing
Andy, you're 18, she said.
I can't even. I have never heard you sound more like someone's unpleasant
Today
Jewish.
is my mother's death anniversary.
Oh,
so I'm in a no. Go ahead, because I feel like my mother. I'm cheerfully pessimistic.
What do you mean?
I'm very pessimistic, but I still have a sense of humor. That was her basic disposition
about everything. Well,
yeah, just about everything.
Right, yeah.
So I feel an obligation to, I think, almost be pessimistic in her honor, and also to be disappointed with me.
But she wasn't disappointed with you, was she?
No, she wasn't. That was
a
cheap
up.
laugh.
You're trying to make that up to get a little Richard Lewis.
Also, my bar mitzvah date, same day.
Oh my, that's a lot of things.
I'm not sure which one stressed out my mother more, her death or my bar mitzvah.
Well, you could tell us more about the death. I don't know what's
you
wrong
could just
with me.
listen and react like a human. What would you like to know?
No, I'm thinking
What
now.
are you, the coroner? What?
No. As I was talking, I was thinking, I don't know what you were like. I wasn't there when my father died, and I don't want to be there when my mother died.
Chances are you're on a different coast. She ain't coming here. You can protect yourself.
There's just something about the fact that I thought that you might know more about how your mom was in the last days of her life.
I did. I was there.
Right. So instead of
we were making jokes a lot. Some of her time she was conscious, sometimes she was not. Sometimes she surprised us with consciousness when we thought she wasn't.
But you were talking, and you weren't like talking about her with like she's not there.
A little, but not. We didn't have like secrets. So
right. Well, you see, I feel like I'm still been shielded from the like. I don't know why I think I've been shielded. My dad is gone. I wasn't there. Do I have to witness my parent actually dying?
No, people wait until people leave the room to die. I wasn't in the room when either of my parents died. And my brother was camping out at the hospital with my father. He walked out to go to breakfast finally. That's when my father chose to die.
Right.
And same with my mom. We decided to go home that night. She died.
Yeah. So
and I really believe, it's great to be dying with people around you, but you die alone. I've seen enough of the process
to see
that it's a pretty internal thing going on.
Right.
It's your own process. It's not really, I saw with my father the conversation that was going on, internally, but
you saw his conversation going on.
Yeah. And to my mom, to a lesser extent, my mom, just because she was like in a more restful place. But, but I think, like I said, when people actually die, it's a solitary thing.
Yeah. I could see that.
Not lonely, but solitary.
No. I can see that. And of course.
And anecdotally, I mean, I know a lot of people for whom that's the story, that people wait.
Yes. And clearly people, by the evidence, have waited. You know what I mean? Like just so many times they've hung on, and then the minute
I'm just going to go to the restroom, honey.
Again, I'm not laughing. None of my laughter tonight.
I'm putting it up there.
You're putting it up there.
I'm not trying to like lure you into like some sort of inappropriateness trap.
Yeah, they go, how dare you?
That's a Kindler game. That's not a Weinstein.
It's a Kindler game. I can't believe it. I can joke about it, but you can't. Well, the thing is that who's it? Do you know who Jamie Lamott, Anne Lamott is? She's a writer.
Yeah. But I would have given that same a writer. I would have.
Yeah, just from why? Because
I don't know more than that, really.
But she was saying that she. I forgot the context. Was this? There's a podcast I like. It's called Death, Sex, and Money, where people talk about the big issues in their life. And so it was this woman was
they totally stole that from us.
From Thought Spiral?
Yeah. They're talking about your life.
The thing is, we can never claim that people we did so well that it got stolen.
Yeah, that's true.
Our format.
No, we're more like the underground band that everyone stole from.
Right.
Yeah.
That never gets.
We're
never
like Big
gets.
Star, kind of.
Well, she was.
We're like the '85 Bears. Sorry.
Did I tell you? You want me to tell you more about that?
No.
Now they went to Hallis in 1980. They went to Hallis and they said, please don't fire Buddy Ryan. And Buddy Ryan.
Don't start, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
You would think Jim McMahon, at his size and the way he ran his 40s. Now you can see I can't even keep the.
You're killing my mother again.
So she was saying that she does a lot of hospice stuff. This Anne
material, or who are we talking?
Anne Lamott.
Okay.
And she said she's been with many, many people who have passed, and she has said that she feels like, in her experience, I can't say it like she did, but she said like grace is the last thing. It's going to sound tacky for me, like the last thing up to bat is grace. That even though people, a lot of times people can be in trouble and all this stuff, but they seem to be able to pass and accept passing.
Yeah.
That's her feeling about it.
Yeah, that's been my experience with most of the people I've seen pass. That my stepfather-in-law, who just died this past year, he was not having it. He did not ever get to a place of peace, and it's hard to watch.
Wow.
You know,
like
he was fighting it. You know, and he had nothing to fight with. You know?
What was it? Was that must have been hard to? Was that hard to watch?
It was hard to watch. Yeah,
and because like she was saying that what she's found is that you need to be there for the person. So if they're complaining, she agrees with what they're complaining about.
Right.
So she's more there not to convince them to feel better or not to, or whatever, to just kind of go with what they're saying.
There's no, you know.
And that really helped me to hear that, because I think a lot of times in my life I've tried to solve things, especially in relationships. I want to solve whatever the person's going through, and sometimes people just want to
at that point, the only thing you solve is comfort to the extent that you can.
Right.
You know, and I said it to Allison before we went in, because I'd been through my dad's and a couple other death scenes, and and I still believe it. It's just like, as horrifying as the sort of facts of the situation are, there's always beauty there. If there's love, there's beauty there, you know, and it's a kind of beauty of a human beauty that you don't see in any other scenario.
Right. So it really does strip down.
Well, and it makes people, it if they're good people. I mean, you have to, that's the caveat is,
Yeah.
It makes people focus on other people's well-being, and it puts people's priorities in the right space.
Yes.
Generally.
My whole fear
This is a fun opening to the show, isn't it?
Well, my whole fear was always seeing I don't know if I talked about this in the show, but the one time when my father, he was out of it for a month after the operation, and then they gave him too much heparin and all these things.
Yeah.
But at one point it was a whole long story, but it was about should we remove this feeding tube, all this stuff. And so then my dad was just showing the doctor that he was okay, but he didn't realize he had no clothes on. He's, I'd never seen my dad naked and giving me not giving me a show, but just being completely vulnerable. And it's the thing is, it's the same thing as I would never have thought that the open casket would be actually something that was comforting to me.
Yeah.
It's like seeing him in that situation was like, I never wanted to see that kind of vulnerability, but when you do see it, it didn't affect me as horribly as I thought it would.
Well, no, because it pierces through your bullshit.
Yeah.
It just pierces through all the things you're telling yourself you should feel, because this is so weird.
I know. Yeah.
And you just go, no, this is my father in need, I had some very sort of elemental care moments with both my parents when they were dying, and, you just kind of, it's a roll up your sleeve and deal with it situation.
I know that's hard. I'm not, and I've never had to do it.
Yeah.
But I know that,
but when you're in it, it's just what's happening. It's
right.
It's not, you don't get, like I said, you don't get hung up on it. You do later.
Yes. Well, I've been lucky. I'm not classically squeamish.
Yeah.
So those things don't get me, but,
I mean, if the symbolism isn't any worse, when my mom was dying at home, it was, I would go there and stay there, and I would have literally a baby monitor, in her room.
Right. So. Yeah. Why are you laughing? I'm just kidding. I really was going to take it one other step further, since you're in a kind of what is it called when you're in that mode where you make fun of things like death, and you're not really,
right.
You're doing it.
Dark comedy.
Humor. That's it.
Dark comedy.
I don't know why it made it sound more complex than it was. So, anyway, this is I suggested to talk about this opening up tonight as a holiday thing. I'm feeling the holidays, and I do feel rage at one of your neighbors. I mean, at this point, it is ridiculous. It's not rage, but it's like, what is that person trying to prove? What are they trying to prove? The house
that changes scenes every month.
Yeah. The house that changes. That first of all, after Halloween, it has Canadian Halloween.
No, there's always an angle every month with the decorating the house, and and I feel my first instinct is rage,
right?
Like yours,
because you're a normal person,
right? And then I try to examine, like, why would you be so fucking mad at this person?
Yeah, be nice to them, right?
But I haven't fully reconciled.
Well, they have these shows
because they aren't good. It's not like it's classy. It's not, like if it was like a Hollywood set designer who was doing like really good work, and it was like, but it's like, a lot of inflatables and things like that.
That's true. I realize that it's like he's getting a lot of square footage out of large objects as well.
Yeah.
And overloading them.
It's sort of, you want like a winter carnival kind of thing, and you've got like a highway side, a road attraction, like Route 66 road attraction feel to it.
What do you think? Now,
come pet our dog. I mean, the jackalope.
The jackalope. I was fascinated with the jackalope. Because when I did that show, Andy Town.
Yeah.
We looked at I looked at all of those kind of, to make the opening, we looked at all those kind of like
mythy things,
postcardy things.
Yeah.
And it turns out there's no jackalope. Turns out.
There is not.
But my father and mother collected, antique postcards, and they're kind of cool. They sold the collection before I could get my grubby hands on it. But
Santa took it.
There's a couple of commercials this year where Santa's like yelling, or he's, hey.
There's a lot, yeah. My favorite thing so far this holiday season, because it just struck me as so genius, is Crest just declaring it's the official toothpaste of Santa.
Yeah, that.
Because you can't poke a hole in it. You can't, it's up to you how to fuck with your kids, Mom, I want that. It's Santa's toothpaste. No, it's not. What do you mean? Okay, sure.
Yeah. I admire that that's a good sales pitch.
It's like the greatest free endorsement deal you can go with.
Yeah, but
it's way better than like fucking putting James Dean in a movie again.
Whenever I read that, I always think like that is not going to really happen.
It seems like it's a hoax. It has like this feeling of like, because it's just so preposterous that we looked everywhere, we couldn't find an actor to play the part, so we had to get the image of James Dean played by another actor underneath.
So how are they doing it exactly?
They'll just do a digital performance, like it's the Gollum, except they'll fucking paint James Dean over the.
It's terrible. Let him. He's dead.
Well, his family's the one who did it.
They want money. Isn't that why they do it? Yeah. Well, you can't say James Dean's family is doing it for the right reasons.
No, that's what I mean.
But haven't they made a lot of James Dean coin?
I think they've done okay, but
is it going to be?
They don't have a lot of other famous relatives to shake.
Are they remaking one of his movies?
No, they're making a new movie
with James Dean,
him in a major role.
And
no, there's no way to justify it. There just isn't.
Oh my God! There seems to be a couple of movies that are coming out this winter that seem odd to me. I can't think of the others. Are there any ones you saw that were
odd movies coming out this winter? Yes, these are odd movies coming out this winter.
Marriage is one called Marriage.
There's a Marriage Story.
Yeah, what is that? What's that?
That's now on Netflix. That's with Scarlett Johansson and
and what's the premise, Johnny?
They're people getting divorced. A modern Kramer versus Kramer, if you will.
If you will. Well, I did see a scene there, and it looked good.
Adam Driver. Very interesting.
You're not even doing Carson particularly. The one that looked bad was the morning show.
You just stay in it is really what it.
Yes.
Whatever comes out will happen.
Well, I do walk around when I walk around the house. I do get into time periods where I make that sound.
Whoa. Is that your Carson? I had no idea all these times.
It's kind of like
that's what you were doing.
Oh yeah, kind of car. Yeah. Whoa. It's kind of or it's Ed doing something.
I thought.
Would you believe? Wouldn't that?
Whoa. I think it's what you're doing.
Yeah. Whoa. No, here's what it is. Male Weird. It's a version of Male Weird, Holy Man.
It's Carson doing Gleason.
Yeah. No. That's exactly what it is.
Yes.
It's Carson's Gleason.
Yes.
No.
No, that's good coffee.
No. Which is really bad because Gleason didn't sound hacky when he did it.
No.
Well, you have to accept that Johnny's characters were not his best.
No, and then they were stolen for the most part.
They were all stolen from Jonathan Winters. Now, I'm Aunt Blabby. Isn't Aunt Blabby? Aunt Blabby.
I don't know. I don't know if your Aunt Blabby is better than my Carson.
Well, no, it's the Jonathan Winters old lady voice.
Yes, it is. And costume, weirdly enough. It's like the same wig.
May a weird yak make nice on your shmoo. That's the thing I notice when I watch.
May a weird yak make nice on your shmoo.
The thing that's amazing is when you look back at those things that are no longer funny, really.
Yeah.
They seem even more out of touch to me somehow. Like when you see how many gay jokes, homophobic jokes there were in this, you can't even believe it.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, that's right. You can't even believe it. It's like, first of all, that at one point it was considered hip to make gay jokes, wasn't it? Kind of.
Sure.
Were we talking about Nathan? Oh, no, that was. I went through a whole thing with that.
About with what?
That whole experience, the laughter that we just went through.
Oh, okay.
That 10 minutes, it was cathartic. Did you ever see that show, Cathartic 54? Where are you?
I'm glad you got that out.
Well, I'm glad. I'm not glad I got it out because it
was Cathartic 54 was my point.
But I do feel the holidays. I mean, I do feel
there's a hang up in my brain. There's
and the schmoopy doopy doo now that's another show neither one of us have ever watched an episode of.
That's not true, but I never got into it. But there was some funny ones.
Is Fred Gwynn in that one?
Fred Gwynn is Al Lewis as well. Half the Munsters are in that fucking thing. Charlotte Ray's in it. Oh, Joey Ross. Oh,
I would like to watch an episode. I'm sure I could on YouTube somehow.
Yeah.
Because I am judging it that it's
There's
not
like
funny.
a bar mitzvah episode. Good, do the bar mitzvah episode. Look up.
How long did that?
Just because you go, there was Jews in the 50s.
How long was it? It was a 1 year show or something?
No,
like that?
it was. I think it was a fairly beloved show. I think it had at least a few seasons.
Yeah. And Dobie Gillis loved the show.
Yeah.
But it probably wasn't that good, right?
It was cute. They were trying for something at least.
Was he a stand-up, Dwayne Hickman?
I don't know.
All right, someone find out for me. I'm still haven't found a good holiday movie. I want there to be a different Christmas this year.
How about The Man Who Came to Dinner?
What's that one?
We can watch. It's on Criterion.
Oh, okay. Is it a Christmas one?
It's Christmassy, yeah.
When did you see it?
Sure. Years ago, I don't even have. I know Betty Davis is in it, and I'm trying to think who else. But
and it's holiday.
I just went by it, and I also saw someone on Twitter wrote an article about how they love it as a Christmas movie.
All right, that's what I'm going to watch. I have Criterion.
Yes, you do. Me too. That's our criteria.
Right. Because it's not going to be these Lifetime movies.
It's like 1945-ish, I think.
Now I have to find out now about why you're injured and what's happening with your various injuries. You hurt your knee. Your knee looks like you broke it.
No, but I have stabby pains in my knee today.
I wonder if
But I have a sort of a 2-day rule with stabby pains, unless it's like a consistent stabby pain.
Yeah. I see. That does make sense. It could just be something you banged.
Shit just hurts sometimes.
But I have been lucky with my knees. I've
with
had
the weather changing.
I felt a little thing, a twinge in my knee, and I don't usually have it.
But it's a little, I don't know. It's a weird pain, and I've had knee issues before, so I'm not happy about it. And then I had a diverticulitis sort of episode over the few days. So
when you were not with me,
yes, this is why I didn't.
This is a major thing.
Well, it's not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was.
It's not what before.
It could turn into a major thing if I didn't just fucking. I basically haven't eaten for the last 2 days.
And they don't know.
But I'm not in any. It's like, it's a pain in your side. It's like appendicitis on the other side is kind of what the pain is like. But it's low level.
Okay.
But it's just, it's a little bit PTSD-ish for me because.
Right, the experience
when I had the experience, it was like the worst pain. It
was like passing kidney stone pain?
I've never passed a kidney stone pain, but it was unbelievable pain.
And what finally relieved it?
Dilaudid.
Oh, so this is like emergency room pain.
Yeah, that was when it ruptured. So I've just been like doing clear liquids the last couple of days, but
you know what's really good?
Except for this coffee right now.
Oh, is sesame seeds. That wasn't funny.
But
that's not caused by that. It's not seeds.
Well, I mean, seeds and nuts are supposed to be bad. I've never had reactions directly from those things. I eat those things.
Right.
I don't know. It just started creeping up, and I just wanted to nip it in the bud. It never got to super painful. It just got to noticeable.
So what is nipping in the bud
just
entail?
For me, it was just like, why don't you just do clear liquids for a couple of days and let your colon just rest?
Wasn't that one of your slogans?
See, why do you ask questions and then...
Because I had a funny joke.
Horrible jokes at me.
No, Josh, I had a funny one to put in there.
Bring it in.
You want me to get it in there again?
My slogan. Go for it.
Enjoy the go. Get the go going. Enjoy the go. Enjoy the going.
See, you cheapened my whole condition for enjoy the go.
So, and what it will just pass and then go away.
Yeah, it's just like inflammation, I think.
Oh God, I have no problem.
And if it hurts more, I'll go to the doctor. But today it's been trending in the right direction.
That's good. And how many times?
This has been Old Jew Medical Corner. Stat.
I woke up today. I had a thing in my head.
Oi! I said.
Is this a recurring thing? Is it a new problem? Well, imagine when you get to my age, all the different things you're going to be having.
Okay, boomer.
Now, can you do you can't do your Pilates when this is going on?
I canceled today.
We're recording this on Tuesday. People don't know that.
No. Now they do.
Now they do.
Way to go.
Oh, well, they knew it from the timeline of the get your question in there,
sure.
Perhaps. So, so far?
Apropos of, was there a point to the Tuesdayness? You had therapy today.
I had therapy today, which went very well.
Yeah.
And,
are you cured?
I'm not cured, but usually I go in there and there's a lot of, I don't have to manufacture problems. Today I went in there feeling pretty good going in, so it was more like I just had a tune-up, check the oil. And, because things are going okay for me for the last little while. And
that's good. You're on a roll.
I'm on a roll. I'm not obsessing as much. I'm getting things done to the degree that they can get done. And I'm trying to enjoy every day.
How's that going?
Better. It's going way better. When I don't panic...
You're a happy guy.
I'm a happy guy. When I don't panic, it's like 90. It's like if you had, I'm 90% better than I was in terms of OCD in general. and sometimes you can't stop yourself, but so many times I can now see something coming, identify it, and don't let it take me over. That is absolutely amazing to me for my life. To just go, it's not the end of the world. Nothing is the end of the world.
Right.
And
the sense of perspective voice is part of the conversation now.
Yes.
Nice.
But now there's still I still have, like, for example, I have this thing now. I'm more aware this week than I was last week that I'm on a podcast.
Yeah.
So I can tell myself, saying to myself,
I know. I can always tell by the eyes.
Yeah.
You don't look at me when you're in this mode where you feel like you have to broadcast.
Right. Right. But you don't have that, right, when you're doing the podcast?
No, it's pretty
straightforward for you, or you're not thinking about that? You're not thinking about...
I mean, I'm aware we're doing something that's supposed to be entertaining.
Right.
But I feel like our best shot at being entertaining is connecting.
Yeah. So when I'm not... It's not... Well, my problem is not that I'm not... Is my attempt to connect. In other words, like...
Right.
If I'm going to say...
It's highly deliberate.
No, it doesn't work.
No. It's not you.
It's not me.
I know the difference between uncomfortable Andy and comfortable Andy.
Right. So here's the thing. What happens is that there's always an elephant in my room. There really is almost always an elephant.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
No.
You didn't hear that elephant sound?
No.
That's why I don't do bits.
That was a good way to take it. You at least made a choice and went somewhere with it.
4 or 5 times a week.
I just made a fucking noise and you did something. It was good.
4 or 5 times a week on my own at home, I will do this to myself. I'll go, Mr. Weinstein, come in here immediately. Yes.
And I never do.
Yeah, Mr. Weinstein, it's come to my attention that I have not added anything more to my Mr. Weinstein bit. So when I know that I'm in that mode, if I admit that I'm in that mode, then it always helps. But then it doesn't always help.
Right. Well, I mean...
That's the thing. It doesn't always help to know that I'm self-conscious.
But here's the thing. I mean, the task at hand is a forced conversation. You know, the truth is we're not always in the mood for a 2-hour conversation, and if it doesn't always sync up with our schedule, like our mood to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
So, at least, we've done it 136 times now. We're not going to be in the pocket every time in terms of our desire or, focus.
Right.
So far you've done fine. Now we're talking about you not focusing, and you're very focused.
Well,
but I do notice because your eyes dart on nights when you're feeling that way.
Well, but this also happens. It also happens in therapy, or it can happen many, many times a day, or on stage, where I'll start to think of something that I want to say, and I'll forget, and then it gets into the anxiety, and then that builds on just building on itself.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know if things are a problem, or trying to think about them as a problem makes them more of a problem. You're like, I always think, am I going to have early dementia? I don't know if I am, but it's not early anymore. It's just coming at the right time now, right?
Just regular,
that's kind of nice to know.
Just regular dementia.
That's nice to know that I dodged the early dementia bullets. How old was he? Well, he was in mid-60s. Okay, well, that's about when these people...
The D-zone, they call that. No, I don't sense any decline.
I don't sense a decline either.
In fact, I would say cognitively, once you got off the high dose of the Prozac, there was a vast improvement.
Yes, and it's unbelievable that...
I think it's always about focus with you. I think it's always about a second voice coming in with a fire.
Yes, the second voice.
The second voice comes in and overrides, or at least distracts the first voice enough so that you lose them both.
Right. And that second voice is either going to assign myself blame.
Does he hate me?
Does he hate me?
What did I do?
How come?
He won't ever forgive me.
But the thing that's interesting about you,
very little. So I'd like to hear this.
you're all ears.
Yes.
I'll bite. I like that expression. I'll bite.
I do too.
Is that the grass is always greener. So to me, I'd rather have I always think I have this comparison thing, and I'd rather have your mind, and I put your mind, your ability.
Well, this is the rare case
where you're right.
Where the grass is greener on my side for both of us. Because I don't want to be you.
Yeah.
I determined a long time ago, it's hard goddamn work being Andy Kindler.
Right, it's not easy.
You make it look easy. But I think me and several thousand people listening would agree it's hard goddamn work being Andy Kindler.
Well, I keep thinking, I keep saying, there's no way. I keep saying I'm going to kill myself if I'm in Montreal this year and I have the same experience from last year. There should be never a reason. But that's the expectation game again.
Yeah.
That's the thing of, I'm only going to be happy if I don't have anything negative happen to myself.
Well, get me in with you. Get us a podcast up there and I'll be your ring man and it won't happen.
That would be good. The ball's in your court, John. Make some calls.
We'll write you good jokes again. It'll all be fine.
I think that there's something to be said that, I am a much happier person than I was before I got into therapy, before I was diagnosed. And I told my therapist today, I said, the part of my brain that was on Twitter getting into fights, it's not that it's gone, but the appeal to it is gone in a way. I feel like the Prozac has and the therapy have eliminated a lot of the OCD.
Right.
And not eliminated. It'll never be eliminated.
But you just have tools to stop it now.
Yes.
You didn't have that before. You didn't even have the tools to recognize that it was there.
That's the thing.
Now you can see it and examine it on some level, and sometimes it wins, but you at least 4 out of 5 times you have the ability to knock it down. It seems like.
Yeah, and
or 3 out of 5, but whatever.
No, but so I do feel like that my life has never been more. I've never been happier, but I also feel like for all of us, it's a very existential kind of challenging thing right now.
Yeah, I'm feeling
it's getting worse right now for some reason with all the outside stuff.
Well, I mean, the thing that came along with today was the day that they announced the articles of impeachment, and the angst of knowing that nothing is going to fucking happen, and that we're just going to continue to get more divided.
Yeah. That's true. It's so frustrating.
You can't be like, there's no joy to be had in this thing,
No, because it's just going to be
and it's not like I was looking for joy in it, but it's just like, it's more angsty because you see all the bad faith ahead of us. And
I keep thinking to myself, what if we hadn't won the House in 2018?
Well, there wouldn't be an impeachment problem.
I know. I mean, it would be like, I think it might be even more fucked up, though. And I think it's actually shown people.
More fucked up than the president changing Jews' status?
What did he do?
Have you not seen this?
No, what?
That Trump is going to do a presidential order declaring Jews a nationality.
What are you saying? Why? Is this like one of those?
No,
is this an Ashton Kutcher thing?
No. And the underlying reason for this is to then use it against colleges who allow boycott Israel protests, because then it becomes anti-Semitic and they can't support that as a college. Yeah, I know. It's.
How does he do?
I'll give you a minute. We'll be back. No, just kidding.
How does he do this? I mean, what does it mean?
Well, I don't know what the force of it is except for that. But to be honest, it's like I've never seen anything that sounds more Supreme Court baity in my life.
Right? But how many more Supreme Court? First of all, we got.
But I don't know what the ultimate effect of it is. But it's just sickening when, anytime you're talking about the Jews separately, it's not a good situation.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, this Stephen Miller guy is supposedly Jewish, and he has Jared Kushner is supposedly Jewish, but they're Nazis. These people are Nazis. So I don't know how I don't even know how a guy like Stephen Miller, he's just probably trying to climb into his head to see how it works. It doesn't make any sense because there's probably like an amusement park going on in there and fascist orgasms going on. But Trump hates the Jews. I mean, he ultimately hates everybody.
Yes, pretty much.
And the Jews are a group that you can really, if you want to be a hateful person, there's so many different stereotypes to hop on.
Right. A lot of angles.
Because didn't he say, I want a Jew counting my money? Remember that? I want a Jew counting my money in Atlantic City.
Well, as opposed to a black man.
You don't want a black counting.
Right. That was how it came
If you need a dance to be, if it's dancing.
Well, even he was talking to Jews this week, with more of like, you people are ruthless killers, but you're not going to vote for Pocahontas.
And, as someone who's lived here even longer than you've lived here.
On Earth, you mean?
I don't know what I meant by that. It's just a stupid comment casually thrown off. Neither one of us are near a record of living here.
Okay, you've got seniority.
Okay, so I've been here since 78. So like this asshole Tom
78.
He's always lording it over me. What year he moved to Los Angeles?
Why are you mocking? I've known this Tom McClintock creep forever. He's been around forever. This right-wing congressman guy who you saw on the floor of the Judiciary Committee. And it's like, what part of California?
We have Devin Nunes from California.
I know, but what's happening up there in Fresno that they would want? It's unfathomable to me. I know it's not. I know it's fathomable because it keeps happening.
Yeah. No, it's it's California. If in areas not touching the ocean is pretty rednecky.
Yeah, that's true. Bakersfield, but Bakersfield has good country music.
Yeah, in the 60s.
I'm very upset about Devin Nunes' district.
Yeah.
Wake up. But he could lose.
He could.
All these people might lose, I think, or it's over. There's two things that could happen.
That's true.
Next November, first of all, let's say he's voted out. How are we going to get him out? I don't believe that we can make it to next November without something happening.
I mean, I feel like the playing field has a lot of changing to do. Still. Yeah.
But, are you going to be, I don't even think about Pence as much as I used to.
No, well, there's only a year left on this ticking clock if things happen the way God should want it.
But if you notice, if you still listen to the media, they still very easily will get into, the Republicans, they'll still both sides it. They can still cover it like a sporting event.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to... I'm glad I'm not in the news business right now.
Yeah.
Because...
you wouldn't be able to...
Well, because you see how it's like there is, just from what seems like a rational, objective perspective, there is virtually nothing but negative things to say about Trump.
Yes.
So when you look at the sum total of all these things that you're saying, you probably do go, boy, this looks kind of weighted.
Right.
When in fact, it's the objective truth that you're reporting.
Yeah, the objective truth that you're hearing all the time.
But as a news organization supposedly being objective, it's hard to even feel like you're being objective, even when the objective truth is, this is fucking honky bullshit.
Yeah, but they, like CNN in the last election, they just loved to play. I mean, that was like, they loved to play the game. They loved to play they wanted to not lose. They have fantasies about getting the Fox News viewers, is what they have.
Yes.
That's why they've
lost their way completely.
Yeah, and don't even realize, like, you're not going to get those viewers by having Trump people on who are just saying terrible things.
Yeah.
But you can't. They have enabled some of those people to get jobs in the government, like Cuccinelli.
Right. No, it gives them a nice showcase for Trump to see them. It's their audition tape. It's really nice.
Well, I do feel, though, that if I'm happy, it's okay. I don't know why I do feel generally optimistic. I think the reason why I feel like generally optimistic in some ways is, what's the point of? It's not going to help me to be looking around. I'm already can be scared of a lot of things.
Yeah,
walking home in the dark.
I've never been happier about the fact that time moves really fast as you get older.
That's true too. Yeah, it does feel like this year is.
Well, it just feels like even the 3 years of the Trump thing. It's just like it feels like one long excruciating year.
It does. It really does.
You know?
It almost. Yeah. I would say that it is going to, something will be over by November. It'll be over.
Yeah.
Something will be over. Either I will be halfway. My mom said
it may be the Four Horsemen's ride that is over. But.
I did tell, my mom says I have said that my whole life that I was leaving the country.
Yeah.
You know, with Nixon and.
Right.
But this seems like.
You've always been a drama queen, Andy.
Now, since you say that drama queen, Andy, it reminds me of the way you said that. It had a little bit of an Adam Sandler thing, and I've been kind of fascinated.
Oh, you've always been a drama queen, Andy.
Sorry, I don't.
No, I encourage it. But all of a sudden, he's gotten a positive media blitz, fluff cut pieces. And I realized, I was talking to Susan about that. There's always been these two sides to 60 Minutes.
Right.
It's like, we're going to come in and stop you from giving bad gasoline out, or we're going to do a fluff piece about
the fluff piece is always the angle of kind of like, maybe I was wrong.
You know, because they... You know, like Adam Sandler, they're celebrating him like a hero all of a sudden. And
well, whenever he makes a real movie that does, that isn't like him playing a fucking cartoon character, people go nuts over the fucking guy.
And when I read there was one article in the New York Times magazine that I read, and then there was another article. Oh, then there was a 60 Minutes piece.
Oh.
What did you say?
Highlights.
But the 60 Minutes piece is like, it was like, and then Adam loves to play basketball, so they have him. It's like, it looks like he's a politician running for office.
Let's go out and get some B-roll, Adam. What do you say?
Yeah, buddy. And he's high-fiving people, and it's so important to him to be loved, but not important enough.
That's not, you never hear that with a comedian.
That's true, but not enough to make good movies. Or make, I realize now, here's my summation of the Adam Sandler thing. I think that Adam Sandler's long hand of whatever you want to call it, that there's just, I think that, I don't know what I'm saying. I just think like, he has so much invested in being a nice guy and being I don't think
he does though. I don't get that same sense as you.
Well,
I think that he has more of a cranky, do whatever the fuck he wants sort of kind of image. And he's made movies that reflect that attitude.
Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is...
He doesn't seem like that much of a... I mean, everyone's a people pleaser when they're promoting their newest movie.
That's true. He has so much invested in... that everybody around him be people who kind of, the Alan Coverts. They were listing in one article how many, like he's been in 45 Adam Sandler movies, and Buscemi's been in 8 or 9. He's so what I think is when I look back at him, I feel like I overvalued what he was doing when he started. I mean, not that I overvalued, because I thought it was hilarious, but then maybe I expected more, and it was always not that great, the comedy he was doing.
I think you're overthinking this.
You think so?
I really do. I mean, I think he was a very funny young man comic.
Okay.
He made a couple of very big...
I loved him I loved him when he would go on Letterman.
Yeah, and
I loved him when he first...
There's nothing wrong with that. You weren't wrong about that.
Right.
He was very funny.
Yeah, and when he first went on Saturday Night Live.
He made a couple of movies that, were at least fresh at the time. Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore were they were Adam Sandler vehicles, but there wasn't a 20-year track record of Adam Sandler vehicles at the time, so they were new.
Right.
Then Hollywood and he agreed on the fact that this shit is hilarious. Let's do 1 million more of these,
Right.
And every once in a while, and why the fuck wouldn't he? We talked about this last week. If about him staying in his comfort zone. Well, that's a pretty fucking, that's a real goal. Work with your friends and make millions of dollars.
Right.
Doing something that you think is funny, whether it is or isn't,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he thought it was funny, but you'd think, at least on set that day, he thought it was funny.
Right, yeah.
So I think he's fairly in control of his scene,
He is. I think that it's all about.
I mean, it's, you can be a fan or not, but to make it, I don't know. I'm not in the mood to make it a crime what he does.
Oh, no. I'm more.
I'm not in the mood to even be dismissive of it,
Okay.
Because I think, he's not taking someone else's money to make these movies, so it doesn't bother me,
I think it's like I'm more thinking about it from my point of view, where like I spent all these years wanting to be liked by a guy that I don't particularly like very much.
Yeah, that's your problem.
I don't.
And I don't mean that to go fuck you.
Yeah.
But
I don't
mean,
like his comedy. I don't like his misogyny. I don't like his politics.
Right.
I don't like a lot of things about him, and that he was so involved because I was so close to Judd, and it changed my relationship with Judd when this whole thing with Adam, and so I was almost like in shock for many years from it, like just not realizing. And now when I look back and I see like the same thing happened with Zach Galifianakis, because he had these kind of run-ins with a lot of different people,
right?
And the thing of me thinking that there was something wrong, how seriously I took it.
That's the thing is that, and you for a while, and I don't think this is as much the case anymore, like with your speech, but you sort of accepted this mantle of guardian of comedy.
Right, which I don't think, I took myself so seriously sometimes.
That's what I mean, is you sort of took on the duty of vocally disliking these things.
Yes.
As if you were protecting the world from them,
Right.
When in fact you're just sabotaging relationships or potential relationships.
But
but that's the thing. It's like, it's one thing to go, I don't need Adam Sandler's approval and feel how you feel. But you'd also like, I don't need Adam Sandler as an enemy either. I can withhold my opinion, and I'm not shirking some duty.
I'm now to the point where I don't care about. I'm at the point like I don't want to go out and talk about him more, but I so much don't care about what he's doing that I don't feel like I'm. The fear was me saying these negative things and I would get in trouble for them. I don't care about that anymore. Right. So.
No, you were literally afraid of him punching you.
Yes. No, literally it was.
No, I know.
And he literally said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to punch you." So, to me, he's a classic bully. And Louis C.K. is a bully, and these people are bullies. It's like when I look back at my life, I realize that I just never really understood the dynamic sometimes between what was happening beyond is it healthy to be on the internet arguing with people forever?
Right.
Okay. But beyond the obvious downsides of these things, the thing I want to say is like, I realized that I had a lot of anger towards Seth Rogen. That was all Adam Sandler based anger. It had nothing to do with Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
In other words, I don't like Adam. I don't like Alan Covert. I don't like these assholes that are around him, and I don't like how he, to whatever degree he it's like, I don't know what happened with him and Janine, but just the way there was this boys club and she used to be friends with him and all these different things that happened over the years. I don't care about. I don't want to be close to him, and I don't want to be afraid of him, and I don't particularly care whether I make jokes about him or not. If I feel like I want to, I'm going to make jokes. If they sound old, it's because I've hit the thing too hard,
All right.
But with people like Seth, I think I carried just the general anger towards him and kind of like brought that anger towards brought more anger towards what I was doing and talking about than needed to be there.
Right.
In terms of what am I making fun of? I was more making fun of Seth Rogen like he was an extension of Adam Sandler, which he's not. You know, it's like he's not an extension. And when I could hear about your experience with him, I realized, oh yeah, I could see the whole Freaks and Geeks thing, because that was a whole difficult thing for me too, because I knew Judd wasn't talking to me really, and I knew that there were all these people who were angry at me.
Yeah.
Not him, not the people, not Paul Feig.
Right.
So, I don't know, I think I've said basically it. But the other side of it was, I was just interested on how, like, he won't let his movies be reviewed, and he'll do these pieces on 60. I feel like, are there like ground rules on those interviews when they come off such fluff pieces?
There's sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't think that, I think he's embargoed his, like, Adam Sandler movie. I think this one has been out for review.
He didn't direct it, though, right?
No.
And that's the other thing. Is like, I saw that with Jerry Wexler or whatever. I mean, it wasn't very, when he writes things, I don't think he's probably capable of writing, or making the type of movie he made. Maybe he is. Maybe he could make another. I never saw Happy Gilmore or any of those for The Waterboy.
Yeah.
Are those the ones you'd say were good movies?
I don't know that I'd say they were good movies, but it was like a brand. He was taking a brand of comedy,
right,
and putting it on screen.
Yeah.
Were they fun? They're funny movies. Like a Jerry Lewis movie is a funny movie. You find it's sort of binary. You either find it funny or don't.
Right.
But yeah, there was plenty of funny gags in all of them, and there was plenty of shit where you go,
Yeah.
But it was a valid, like, I'm taking my comedy character and putting it on screen.
Also, wasn't one of them more Farley type thing, or both of them, or?
I don't know what they did together.
What was it, Billy Madison?
Billy Madison, I think Farley was in it, but wasn't.
Well, anyway, all that being said, I am with you on the. I just think that so many of my problems were based on me not being. I think if I wasn't so worried, if I didn't have this us against them or good versus evil or whatever I had, or I'm a bad person, they're a bad person. If I didn't have that, I would still be making these type of jokes.
Right.
Because I still think I make those jokes. I don't think.
I think you do too, but it's a tone thing.
It's a tone thing,
It's a total tone thing. And I can see how someone would feel when you're at your most intense about things.
Right.
I could see how someone would feel very attacked about it.
Absolutely.
When you're doing it more roast mode, good-natured mode,
right,
then they're just funny jokes. But if it's like, why, that other attitude, it's like, why the fuck is Kindler coming at me? As opposed to, all right, good one, Kindler.
Yeah. It's a weird,
it's an interesting tightrope walk you've done for a quarter century with that shit,
Yeah.
But I always found it interesting that, for someone who was so, in fact, hung up about what people were thinking about them, it was an interesting place to put yourself.
Well, I think that is part of my personality, and maybe my family is like that too.
Well, and
we have big mouths, and
and your comedy comes from that tension.
It does come from that. It's got the things that are problematic about things. So when I think back about some of those, like when I was so angry at Brillstein Gray, or I was so angry at just angry in general, you go back over the year. It's like if I'm angry at whatever that guy's name was, Opie and Anthony, I don't give a. Then I'm really angry.
Right.
Those years were very hard because I was very angry and I was involved in these specific topics. And I would rather not have a year like that again.
Right.
But that was a weird year. Those were weird years in comedy where those guys were like the cringe comics and all that stuff. But I like it when it's roasty.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a legit comedy tradition, The I'm mad at your work angle is a little harder to pull off.
Well, you know what? Things are way more problematic in a way, because it used to be the good guys and the bad guys. In other words, like schlock and good stuff was so easy to see.
Right.
So it's
and everything, and it wasn't, and like every single thing didn't have a fucking army attached to it to come at you. Too,
yeah,
you
right,
know?
right. But more and more, I find sitcoms, except for the ones that I really love, I find the form to be less and less. I don't know if it's the quality of the ones that I'm watching, or
it's tired and old.
It's tired and old.
It really is. I mean, I was watching. I mean, just those fucking Mad About You things on our cable system.
Did you say that on the show? It made me laugh so hard when you said the bad part is even if you watch it, they won't stop running the ads for it.
Yeah, I texted you that. I didn't say it on the show. But you feel how old that feels.
I think I'm
like just these clips of Mad About You. You go, oh my god! It's like it's not like exciting to be back. It's like if you came upon it and you're like, oh, this is still on, really?
It's tired tropes. Isn't that what it is? Like where she'll go, you know what our problem is? We never fight. You know what our secret? We don't fight. And then they're fighting.
And there's too much real writing and acting for that stand and deliver style of, do a big line, wait for the laugh, do it, It just doesn't, it feels so unnatural now with so much other TV to show you better ways to make jokes fly by,
It also is just the way that they're doing, the way that Spectrum is trying. It's like you used to have local cable news of Spectrum News or whatever, but no one ever took it seriously like what the actual cable company was supplying. But It's like, why is this happening exactly? That they are also making their own programming. I don't even know. Why is
because they're trying to make it give people some fucking reason to want to keep
say cable. Yeah. Well, I haven't switched.
No, but we're lazy.
Yeah, eventually.
But also, sports and news are pretty much staples of my TV diet.
I thought did you find a way of? Isn't there a live thing that you found or somewhere?
You can with sports stuff. You can get most stuff streamed, but
or work around.
It's not like I'm going to chase it all over the place. I'm a writer. It's deductible, my cable bill. So,
but there's also this thing where when I saw a thing for the Connors. It's like I'm not going to watch it, but it's like, can we? It just reminds me of the fact that was a thing that I used to like that show, and why are we continuing it? Shouldn't we just throw it away?
But again, it's like in that case, it's the network chasing after something they can hold on to. This legacy brand, this piece of loyalty, this nostalgia that makes you want to stay with us in some. It's like they have to find some way in.
Well, the networks, because they try to define themselves in such brandy ways, you're just
in the city, brandy.
You're just so aware that it isn't the Tiffany network. It's not the appointment television.
Right.
It's just these floundering giants.
It's just people throwing darts. Throwing multi-million-dollar darts.
God friended me.
This is like the 9th consecutive week you brought up God friended.
Did I bring up Jack Ryan recently?
Vaguely. I had to explain to you who Jack Ryan was.
I forgot already. Oh, I know who he is. He's Tom Clancy.
Yes.
Oh, I'm glad. And Tom Clancy's not alive, right?
I think Tom Clancy died. But he's still writing a book a month.
Stephen King passed away today. He only fell behind.
To 2 books a
week. Schedule. Oh, he's left finished, right?
Right.
That's the thing with Stephen King. There's nothing. When he dies, you'll see 45 to 50 books that he said, this is ready to go whenever you guys want.
Right, exactly. Just with like post-it notes. October. November.
Uncle Stevie. Didn't he call himself Uncle Stevie?
He does, and he has a Yiddish accent after he dies for some reason.
I would like to go out.
The toaster, it's haunted. Go. All right. Should we take a break?
Yeah, I think we're ready to take a break.
All righty.
Thank you for seeing me through my difficult time.
That's good. You're back.
I'm back, baby.
As soon as we start talking about you being remote, you come back.
And I wanted to say it's a tribute to my team.
Yes.
And we'll be back at...
Good people all. So here's a piece from Philly?
From Philly. From Good Comedy Company.
Good.
I
I invented many of the comedy tricks. Did I say one more time for Dan Toronto? Yes. I invented all the comedy tricks. Like the cracking up at your own material. That was me. I started in 1989. I was like, I can't help it, folks. I can't help it. My own stuff cracks me up. You don't even think it would at this point. The other one is to pretend that everything's off the top of your head. That's a classic. That never is good at parties or... It's like, wait, here's another bit I've been doing since 1967. Then you can ask the audience for information that you already know to make it seem like they're part of the show. It's like, what is that book that has Moses in it? The Bible, that's right, boom. Now we're all on the same page. I'm a comedy pioneer, as many of you know. I was the first comic to say in 1989, am I right, ladies? That was me. I was the first comedian to say, am I right, ladies? And before that, the comics didn't care if the ladies thought they were correct. But I changed all of that. I believe it was the great philosopher Descartes who said, I think, therefore am I right, ladies? Am I right, ladies? You know, Hitler was the first person to use the expression haters. And they go, hey, you know, like Goebbels will come in his office. It's like everybody's upset about you rounding up the Jews. Oh, you mean the haters? Players gotta hate, haters gotta play. I've never been able to get that joke to work, but it was requested. I just love that he would have called people haters, Hitler. Oh, the haters you're talking about. All right, I don't think I helped it by going back to it. That's my technique. Go back to it again. Point out things in the club that nobody cares about. Hey, if anybody needs to charge up their phone in the front row, we got you covered. See? Nobody cared about that. We also have the way to plug in other microphones here. I have ADHD. Obviously. I have it. I don't even know what the initials stand for because I don't have the focus to look it up. That's also, I always thought that was a funny joke. It never got a laugh. I don't know the focus. I have focus. Yeah, because I have the ADHD. What are they on? Well, I've had quite a year. I have no ability to aggregate my material thematically. Okay, I hope you realize that by now. It was quite a year. It's quite a year, and every day I wake up and I can't. My wife and we can't take one more day of Trump. We can't do it. I know you love him, Philly. Philadelphia. I know you. I'm sorry, Philadelphia. I can't believe I said. Is saying Philly like saying Frisco? No. It's not that bad. Okay. Well, that didn't help me, but it moved the ball. Certainly moved the ball along. But we just can't. I can't watch his face at all. I can't watch his face. And my wife will do anything. My wife and I will do anything to avoid. We will watch a Dateline where a woman carves up her husband like a pumpkin, just to take the edge off of Trump. You know what I mean? Just to relax. It's not a real person who carved a woman like a pumpkin. Don't take that joke seriously. Don't focus on the husband that got carved up like a pumpkin. We will watch At Home with a Serial Killer just to avoid watching Trump. Maybe I couldn't save it after going to you on that one. I watch. How come on? I would love to see a Dateline start out with nobody liked Lois. She was a horrible person. She didn't have friends because she was mean and rude. She didn't have any special skills. She didn't have a soft side. Who wouldn't want to kill her? That's what our problem is. Who wouldn't want to kill her? And we're back. What'd you think of that stand-up thing, though?
I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, my God.
Once I hear it tomorrow.
You're supposed to pretend that
Sorry, theater of the mind.
Hey, how about, should we go to questions?
I think we should.
We have questions. They have answers.
No, I think it goes the other way.
You have a question. We supply the answers.
That's a much better format.
Thank you. Is the song good, too?
Yeah. Cole Porter, right?
Cole Porter. Spelled Coal. I don't know why I said that. Apologies.
All righty. Peter Maroney says Japanese kids call bald men octopus because of, well, bald. Do you think the right influential person could bring that to the West and make it stick?
I am lost in the imagery. There's an octopus head. There's a man named Octopus Head.
No, that's the Japanese slang for a bald guy is octopus. Hey, octopus, get over here.
Well, I think that's just bad insult humor.
Yeah, see? Yeah. Get over here, octopus.
Hey, octopus. Yeah, octopus. Hey, octopus. Let me make you feel at home.
They tried in the 70s with Telly Savalas. He did Kojactopus. And it never stuck. So they shortened it.
Why is a bald person called octopus?
Because think of an octopus. Think of a cartoon of an octopus.
Tentacles.
Okay, now think of the other part.
The head.
The round, bald head.
That's not how I see it.
Well, just because you can't picture hair on it. But
are you saying that most...
Also, octopi, bigger part of Japanese life.
That's true. That's why they like it.
Right.
That's why they may use the word, hey, eel.
We're actually, billiards are a bigger part of our life than octopi. That's why we went
That's why we do it.
Bald people.
Hey, freshwater eel. Hey, skipjack. I'm naming different fish.
That's good.
Did we answer it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Sometimes if we talk a lot, even if we don't answer it, still it's a positive.
What did you spark is really Stephen Elton Yates. It's all for Andy here. It says equal time guidelines require these Andy voice requests, and I'm going to. These are all in the Is It Spicy format. I'm going to give you that clue, but I'm going to give them to you as a quiz. The girl from Carrie.
The girl from Carrie who comes up out of the thing?
Sure.
Is it spicy?
Okay, no, but what's the pun?
Scary.
No, sissy.
Spacek.
Okay.
Is it sissy Spacek?
Okay, is it Spacek? I'll give you that.
Is it Spacek? How do you pronounce her last name?
Spacek.
Spacek.
The guy from The Usual Suspects.
Is that the guy who no longer acts?
Yes. And
he was an American Beauty.
Yes.
And he likes the fellas.
Kevin
Spacey.
Okay.
I like this game.
The Rocket Company.
Spicy X. Is it Spicy X?
Oh, bing, bing, bing. Is it SpaceX?
Is it SpaceX?
Is it a stretchy fabric?
Is it a stretchy fabric?
Think hair metal.
Hair bands.
What are they wearing?
Like a hairband?
What are they wearing?
Like a cuff?
On their lower torso.
Like underwear?
Okay, above the underwear.
Like a belt?
They're stretchy pants.
Stretchy spandex. Is it spandex?
All right. We're gonna get on Pyramid one of these days.
The least effective clue-giving duo. The worst bridge players.
Here's more Andy requests from Perush. Can we have some Howard Cosell reading of Steely Dan's Gaucho? And he gave you sample dialogue. Okay. Who is this Gaucho amigo? Why is he standing here from the Republic of Domingo?
Who is this Gaucho Domingo? Who is this Gaucho? Amigo. Who is this Gaucho amigo? Is he from the Republic of Domingo? Tito Puentes from the Republic of the Boo. Is there more than one?
No, that's it.
Oh, I did a good job.
Ringo Blar Mall Drummer says, Joshua Andrew, number 135 was especially funny. The Dan Wade riff killed. When will you have Jen Kirkman on the show? She's not only a hoot, she's a holler as well. Happy holidays to you and yours, love, formerly Television Savalas.
I love, still the greatest name ever, but I will say Television Savalas. I would say it's time for Kirkman in the new year.
For sure.
That's got to be.
In my head, Jen Kirkman, she doesn't know this, but she's always been in the plan.
Yes, she is Jen, and I
Since
call
she
her.
stuck with the show. Had she bailed?
If she's not coming on.
She wouldn't have been
if
as
she doesn't like it
automatic.
anymore?
She wouldn't have been as automatic. But
I'm going to call her
Jen, we want you on in the new year.
January Kirkman.
Early in the new year. Yeah, January Kirkman.
January Kirkman.
Yes.
Oh.
Ed McMahon with indigestion.
Who's to say? No. I'm getting that pretty good. No.
Natri Pahara says 2 holiday movie suggestions: Scrooged with Bill Murray. I'm sure you've seen it already. And Santa Claus versus the Martians, which I just remembered that MST did, so probably Josh has seen it. Anyway, you could watch them again, maybe.
Do you remember doing that one?
Well, not only did we do it's Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, and we did it in Cinematic Titanic, and you watched us do it.
I loved it. No, we did. I would have remembered it.
Yes, at Largo, you watched us do it.
How come I didn't? How come I wasn't from Mars?
You were in the show. You opened the show.
How did I do? Was it a good time? It's a good movie on its own, though, right?
No,
Not a
it's
movie
terrible.
that needs.
Terrible. Scrooge is good. Scrooge is a funny
I haven't
movie.
seen that in a long time.
Yeah, it's good. You should watch it. It's it's kind of
I saw it in the theater, and I remember enjoying it. So
yeah. I mean, it's a Christmas Carol meets Network.
And by the way, Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol is still great.
Oh, Magoo, you've done it again.
Except for Rich Little, which we'll all be gathering to see.
Yes.
Is he live?
We have an email with that hits on the Rich Little special. So if we get through these, we'll get
Without
to
your constant comments.
Jordy says Andy Kindler is a damn genius when it comes to the 1985 Chicago Bears. Would he share a little more Bears wisdom in the key of Mark Russell?
Oh, you Bears, you're going to win your division. Is that it?
Yeah, that was it.
But why would Mark Russell
No,
sing?
that's good.
perfect.
No, this is perfect.
Did I mention to you
No,
that...
that was good.
No, but did I ever say to you that...
Andy, I'm not here to cause no tussle. I'm just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Dan Wade
Damn Wade.
says, hey guys, help settle an argument for me. My plumber and I were listening to Feliz Navidad, and he insisted that Jose Feliciano's favorite Marx brother was Harpo. I maintain it was Zeppo. What do you think?
How does it
Clearly, it was Groucho. No, see,
Groucho. Hee-ha-ho-ho-ho. No.
Of course, it was Hee-ho. Don't be a Marx brother.
We're bringing so much joy.
Your brother with the horn is hard to understand. Chiho. Actually, it was Chico.
I know it's Chico. Oh,
Yeah.
it's not Chico. It's Chico.
Hey-ho.
Hell. So if you watch the movie, you could hear him say Chico. Chico?
Anyway, whenever you see Groucho refer to him, it was always Chico, too. But they always had character names in the movies.
I just realized as I said that it was a stupid thing to say, and I was hoping you wouldn't dwell on it.
You can't get one past me, Kindler.
Because they're always
If you're an idiot, I'll hear it.
There's always like a Rufus T. Firefly or something like that.
Yeah. Mike asks, when will Trump be gone? Does this look infected? Can I ask a third question?
Yes. It does not look... We are infected as a country.
Yes.
And he will be gone, I don't know. But he will be
5 years at the latest.
That's a nice way to look at it.
Not to be Pahara's back to ask, Josh, I feel like you have a Joel Hodgson impression in your back pocket. If so, can we hear it? Andy, please tell your mom happy holidays from all of us in Spiral Land.
Oh, thank you. I will pass it on to her.
I do have kind of a Joel Hodgson impression, and I have a nasty habit of breaking into it whenever I'm saying anything about Joel talking. Sometimes I'll do it to him, and I'll have to apologize for doing an impression of him when we're talking.
That's a good one. Does he not like impressions of him?
He doesn't. He's a pretty good sport about it, but there's times where I go, oh shit, I'm doing my very derisive impression of him to his face.
Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be hoo-hoos.
Greg Kelly says, I'm told James Mason did a reading of the lyrics to the Super Bowl Shuffle. Could that possibly be?
No. Oh, I mean, yes, I could be. Are you looking for the lyric to the Super Bowl
Yeah,
Shuffle?
sure I am.
That's the thing that you don't get from other podcasts is we go the extra yard.
We are the Bears shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl Shuffle.
Wow. Who wrote, is that a song that was written by someone?
Well, they call me Sweetness, and I like to dance, running the ball like making romance. We had the Goldens training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ. That's right. And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble, no. We just come here to do the Super Bowl Shuffle.
I don't know. They kind of mix in a charity thing that's a weird angle there.
I'm Speedy Willie. No, I won't do more.
It's not even you. When you go into that James Mason, you can't get out of it.
Yeah, it's channeling. I'm more like an antenna.
I'm like an antenna when I forgot to get the digital connection.
Right.
Sorry about that.
Thanks for the frosting on that one.
No charge.
Andrew Sweet says, are you gentlemen a duo or a troupe? We're a dupe.
We're dupe. We're not a troupe at all.
No. We are a comedy LLC.
Yeah. And
LLP, really.
what is that difference? Limited liability. Oh, partnership.
Partnership or corporation. Yeah. Michelle Weisgarber says, guys, gentlemen, scholars, Test Show 135 was goddamn hilarious. I adore you both.
Isn't that amazing? When Michelle...
Take a lesson, people.
Yes. When Michelle Weisgarber is happy, the entire universe is happy.
Exactly.
The inner space and outer space.
It's true. Dan March says, what product would you like to be spokesman for? And if you get free merchandise out of this, will you split it with me?
Weed. It's always weed or weed something. Weed.
I thought you were going to say catheters.
Catheters. You know, Josh, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but before I knew that there were different types of catheters, I thought there was just the scratchy sand, feels like
hollowed out cacti.
Yeah, it feels like. But now, look, I'll give you an example of one. Look, let me pull one out of my pants.
Wow. That's quite a catheter you got there, Andy.
Do you think I could fly in a plane?
There's no spikes or anything on that.
No, it's perfectly comfortable.
And it seems to be slathered with some sort of lubricant.
Yeah, it was lubricant.
Or is that something that you made yourself?
No,
with your body?
that's a choice.
Okay.
That's a choice. You can have it lubricated or so stiff and hard that it will cut out the inside of your...
Is there an acidy sort of balm you could put on it? So it both slides in easily but still stings like a motherfucker?
And with peppermint.
Ah.
Does that go up your penis?
Yeah.
Oh, Nelly.
Oh, peppermint pee-pee.
He thought putting a catheter in his penis.
Apparently, he thought having a tube up his penis would make him a comfortable man. Anything but. Oh, Nelly, that's a whole different kind of sensation up my penis.
Self-lubricating catheters. You lubricate the catheter.
Jim Meehan asks, or actually answers, to answer a question Andy asked in Philly last week. Yes, Philadelphians do say Philly. Even fictional Philadelphians like Bobby Bittman, though he said it as a comic in all seriousness.
Yeah, I for some reason I didn't think it was the same as saying Frisco, but it literally is not the same. Frisco is the worst.
Yeah, Frisco's.
Frisco.
Yeah, that's an outsider. That's like a menu term.
Yeah, Frisco. Philly. Philly is just a good
John Kovaleski, cartoonist, says, when you have a thought spiral sleepover, who gets the top bunk? What scary movie do you watch? What junk food do you like to eat? I just assume you're both wearing feety pajamas.
I haven't been in a bunk bed situation in a long time, and I wouldn't trust myself in a bunk bed.
No, so I'll give you the lower.
You give me the lower one. We both like Cheetos.
Cheetos are always good.
There's no sleepover. Are you kidding me?
No, you can't. You just can't. You can't even play along with that.
Oh,
reality.
and then the scary movie would be one of the Draculas.
Punchline.
Punchline.
Joshua Cohen says, to anyone who frowns upon impression requests at this point, I offer my apologies, but the heart wants what it wants. And mine, J. Elvis, wants to hear Dennis Miller as the Price is Right mountain climber. I can't deny it any longer.
What's the Price is Right?
Yow dee dee, yow dee dee, yow dee dee do, yow dee dee do, yow dee dee do, yow dee dee do, dee dee yow dee dee do. Yow dee dee do, dee dee do, choo chee.
There you go, Joshua Cohen.
You went the extra mile for that. That was not required,
No,
but you did it.
I did it.
Yow dee dee, yow dee dee, yow dee dee do, back.
Another
Yow
mountain
dee dee
climber
bo,
died,
back.
you know.
Yow dee dee do, back.
Huh?
A mountain climber, another one of those guys who doesn't use any ropes, died.
Really?
Yeah, the free solo type of.
You died?
Not him, but someone else.
Someone did?
Yeah.
You just thought you'd interject a sad
No,
fact?
no, I don't know why I did it.
Hilarious.
I don't
Dennis
know why you
Miller
did.
doing. Yodelity, 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 oh, yodelity, oh, yodelity, oh.
I'm gonna listen to the show to see what doesn't get cut out.
No, that's it. I assure you. Tom the Tom says Chronuka, Hanumas, or some other clever portmanteau for the holidays.
Kwanzaa, Numis. I'm playing
Any of those, all gold. Pick your nugget.
I can't not be not funny.
It's true.
It's
true.
It's in my DNA.
It really is. It's a medical oddity. I'm pickling your brain when you're done.
I hope so. I'd rather
5 years ago.
You mean when I was at my peak?
Greg Kelly says, does Thought Spiral have a holiday party? We may. New Year's Eve might be happening.
We might be happening.
If so, will I be invited as a frequent questioner? No. If so, okay, we'll play along. If so, I'd be happy to bring something. What sort of hors d'oeuvres does James Mason prefer?
Oh my God. That took a long way.
Beluga caviar with creme fraiche on a toasted mini pumpernickel.
James, you want some of these stuffed mushrooms?
I will have beluga caviar, creme fraiche on mini toasted pumpernickel.
Would you like a pig in a blanket?
That's fantastic. You and your friends can have the pig in the blanket. I'm waiting for my beluga caviar on creme fraiche on a pumpernickel, mini toasted.
Crostini?
Toast points.
Excellent, James. We'll serve it right up.
Excellent. Be quick about it.
Get the lead out.
We serve hard drinks for men who want to get drunk fast, and we don't need characters around to give the joint atmosphere. Now, do you get me, or do you have to slip you my left as a convincer?
My good man, I just want my caviar.
How many times have you watched that movie this year? Not at all.
Not this year. Seth Dick III says, really enjoyed Andy's primer on the 85 Bears. Were you a fan of the Big Red Machine or the A's dynasty in the 70s?
Not me.
No. I was too young.
I was all Mets. So
I was all Twins as a kid, but I knew who Johnny Bench was. I knew who Pete Rose was.
I think I like the Reds. I think I like them.
And I knew Reggie Jackson on the A's, and I knew Vita Blue because his name was Vita Blue.
Yeah. I could say that I got somewhat excited about that team.
Andrew Sweet says, you're both musicians. How is it that one of you don't have a theme song, especially with Andy's beautiful voice? One of yous could play the fiddle and the other the violin.
You mean a theme song for the show?
I think that's
or
what he
for
means.
me.
I think he means
or
for the
you.
show. At first, I was thinking that we each had our own. Why don't you each have your own theme song?
My name is Andy. His name is Josh. And when we get together, oh gosh, gosh, gosh.
There you go. That's why.
You almost did a thing, though. I saw you put your finger to like you were going to
No, I wasn't doing a character. I was literally pushing my earbud.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't cupping my ear for
your Don Pardo?
65 degrees here in the Los Angeles basin.
65 degrees is the temperature of this tired bit that Andy keeps doing.
It's lukewarm tepidness at its best. Claytor says, I'm aching for some old Jew medical corner. We did it tonight. We actually anticipated his ache.
Look.
Does that count for old Jew medical corner if you're aching for it?
It extends. When you extend it, you feel the pain.
Then he continues, any thoughts on Thought Spiral toques? I'd pay Canadian money for one. Thanks for your contribution.
A toque? Why don't we have a toque?
We could have a toque, I guess.
Is that like a hat that has no form?
No, it has three corners like Heyman. No, yes, it's just, it's like a cap. It's like a stocking cap with no tassel, kind of that kind of look. Dana Schwartz says, what if Lou Costello was Michelle Wisecarver, who says she'd never ask for voices, and Bud Abbott was me trying to convince her? Ask for James Mason. I'm not going to ask for James Mason. Ask for James Mason. I'm not going to ask for James Mason. Repeat end scene.
I like his snappy dialogue.
Mark Thompson says, as I type this, it is currently 1 degree in my part of the Twin Cities. May have negative 30 with wind chill tonight. What do you remember about that kind of cold, Josh, or have you wiped it from your memory? Did you get it down that low in New York City, Andy?
Not that low.
I remember that hurting.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the Minnesota shit it's cold face that locks onto your face when that hits you. I remember once leaving here, and I've probably told this before, but I left here in LA. It was 80 degrees. I got off the plane in Minnesota. It was 40 below wind chill.
Oh.
So it was 120 degrees colder from the end of my flight than my beginning. And I just remember that just like being like literally like a sledgehammer hitting you in the chest when I walked outside.
Oh. In New York, it can get bad, but nothing like Minnesota is different.
I wasn't, my blood has thinned considerably since I actually lived there. When I go back there now, when it's fucking cold, it hurts way more.
Yeah.
But when I was there, I was pretty hardy about it.
But your family didn't complain ever?
Yeah, everyone complains.
Yeah.
But, the shittiest thing is like the scraping the ice off your window in the morning.
Yeah.
Like that kind of shit is like
the repetitive garbage.
The drudgery.
Because it never closes.
The uncomfortable drudgery.
It never closes, right, Minneapolis?
What do you mean it never closes?
Like my whole thing is I got to not go to school if it was too much snow. So,
yeah, I think they do it more now, but I think maybe 3 times in my entire school career did it close for snow.
Mm.
And I remember I remember the first time it was like it had been 20 years or something.
That was exciting though, still. Anytime we didn't have school.
Absolutely, it was exciting. All right, let's do some emails.
How about I have an idea. Why don't we do a couple of emails?
I love it. You're a leader.
I'm a lost leader.
You are. I want to go through November's emails. All right, Stephen Lefebvre says, there's a perhaps apocryphal bit of advice that goes around that when you get your big break and some Hollywood exec takes you out to dinner, observe closely how they treat the waiter. If they are rude and demanding of the waiter, then don't do business with them, because that's how they will treat you when they don't need you anymore. However, if they treat the waiter with courtesy and respect, then go ahead, because you know that they are at least a decent person. Is this true? Have you developed a sense of who will be a slime ball and who will be a decent human being when working with non-Hollywood talent types? Are there certain red flags you've learned to look for, or is it just a crapshoot?
I think if you're maturing and learning from life, you start to see things that you maybe wouldn't have seen earlier on,
Yeah,
the way people are.
I think that's the waiter tell is a little too simple, because there's plenty of people who have plenty good manners who are horrible assholes.
Right, they know how to cover it up.
But I had someone once who was a representative of mine who was actually shitty to waiters, and I pointed it out to them.
Oh, wow!
And they actually changed their behavior.
Well, and did they say why they were that way?
They just didn't know that about themselves. They just didn't see it.
Wow, that's interesting.
So yeah, I think yes, you get a spidey sense about people, and you over the years you see the different flavors
Yeah.
of scumbag that recur.
Yes, because it's
Yeah.
easy to tell when someone's a horrible person up front, but sometimes it's not easy to
It's
tell when
not
people
always
are
easy to
pleasant.
tell, yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin says, Dear Josh and Andy, for my whole life, people have used the line, what's the deal with airline food, to convey the idea of a hacky comedian, but there's never a punchline. I'm not calling either of you hacky, but can you tell us what the deal with airline food is?
Well, I think it's a generic thing that would be like, it's even if there was, if I could remember one of the actual jokes, it still wouldn't be that funny.
Right.
But they're like, oh, look how small the peanuts are. Like, could I have a smaller bag
Right.
of peanuts?
Right.
And the other thing is, if you're saying it now, it's so obvious that the comic has no idea what's happening now.
Right.
Since it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Chicken, beef, or fish.
Right. Airline food was ubiquitous for a long time, that you got meals in coach.
Right. Whether you wanted them or not, and they were jokes.
Did get just shittier and shittier and shittier until the airlines cut bait on it and just went, snack boxes, you can buy them.
Yeah, which is a better thing than the chicken, beef, or fish.
Yeah. I remember when we were doing Cinematic Titanic, when they were still giving some of those things off. I remember they came down the aisle with a cart of, like, literally a stack of pizza in plastic bags. So it was like a pile of steamed pizza slices. And I passed.
Yeah.
But Gruber, Gruber being Gruber too. Oh, thank you very much. And I was like, Gruber, not only did you take and eat the steamed pizza bag slice, you thanked her for it.
Was he unhappy once he tasted it?
Yeah, of course. But he finished it. It was still Gruber. Yeah. I'm going to go back to another Stephen Lefebvre going, the header is, I'm always afraid I look Jewish, which is a quote of yours from a show. He says, I'm starting to think this is like a real thing and not a bit. Yeah, it's a real thing.
What do you mean?
You worrying about looking too Jewish.
Oh, yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
But that's also, well, I also feel that the second-hand prejudice of, Jews are...
No, I mean, absolutely. There is an, I don't know if it's a genetic memory or something that's taught, but there is, if you are a Jew, there is a feeling of vulnerability.
Yeah.
Like, this society could turn against us.
Yeah. And if I have any of the looks that Jews would have.
Yeah, you don't want to be the mascot for that. But it's never been a real concern of mine because I'm walking around named Weinstein.
Yeah.
So I just,
I look back at pictures of me during my life when I felt awkward.
Right.
And
you just go, Jew.
Yeah, so that's what it felt. Yeah, it's like,
you look at yourself like Annie Hall's family looked at Woody Allen.
Grammy bought this at the garage sale.
Daniel Canada is pitching his this green bean recipe because apparently we
talked about that.
We talked about canned green bean sucking.
Well, in my family it was okay. In my family we'd frozen Thanksgiving.
He's saying canned green beans, this is his thing. Slice a package of center cut bacon, brown the bacon in a medium sauce pot, keep the fat. Pour 2 cans of halved green beans into the pot into the brown bacon and bacon fat. Stir every now and again. Bring to a boil and reduce heat to a low boil until the liquid has reduced by half, about 20 minutes or so. No joke. Yum. Good with country fried steak and mashed potatoes or something along those lines. It will change your mind about canned green beans. Well, fuck. You can change my mind about fucking slimy bugs if you did it in bacon grease and bacon instead of reduce them.
Well, I think he's making a point that's not valid.
I don't need my mind changed about canned green beans. That's a lot of lengths to go to make canned green beans palatable and also stop your heart in your chest.
You might as well just say, open up a can of beans, throw it in the garbage, and have bacon.
That's like opening up a can of whoop ass on yourself. Jerry Drozd says, my wife and I recently adopted a kitten who's in the process of learning her hunting skills. She hides around the corners and leaps out at us, waving her front paws around like jazz hands. My wife announced, it's Liza, when her kitten did this, and now all I can hear is that, that's what I'm here for, the cotton candy grapes, whenever she attacks. It's added some extra joy to having a new friend around our home, so thanks for that.
Ah, the cotton candy grapes. You've changed all of our lives with that memory. I mean, with that experience.
All right, Lynn, who does who's doing transcripts, Project Transcript, writes a email with the header Rich Little's Christmas Carol. So I'm excited for this.
All right,
whatever it may bring.
Oh, by the way, I saw Fanny. Fanny came out to the show.
Oh yeah, how's Fanny?
Good.
Good.
That was good. I forgot to tell you that.
We saw she came out to the movie too.
Ah, that's right. Yes.
Way back on Test Show 15, you and Andy were discussing Rich Little's Christmas Carol, and you mentioned a few of the voices he did. Here's a more complete list. Look, there's James Mason, and I heard you do Truman Capote. Very well, by the way. Josh, how many more can you do from this list? Thanks. Love the show, Lynn. All right. W.C. Fields as Ebenezer Scrooge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, give me the fattest goose in the window. Yeah.
I can't do it.
Not Edward G., right?
Right.
On the whole, I'd rather be in Philadelphia.
We can't get Edward G. out of him.
Paul Lynde is Bob Cratchit.
That's disgusting. Can I have Christmas off, Mr. Scrooge?
I keep forgetting that these are actual characters, or they're in there.
Yeah. Johnny Carson as Fred.
Well, a very Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Scrooge. I'd like to have the night off.
How is this any different than the actual thing? That's all he does.
Laurel and Hardy. It's not. We're seeing if I can go nut to nut with Rich Little here.
I know. I'm just remarking that that's all he does.
Laurel and Hardy.
A fine Christmas you've gotten us into.
I didn't know what I was.
Oh, Richard Nixon as Jacob Marley. Scrooge, you're gonna be visited by three ghosts. None is a crook.
Humphrey Bogart as the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Hey, sweetheart, you're going to be haunted tonight. See?
I can't get rid of it.
Can't get out of it.
Groucho Marx as Fezziwig.
Yeah.
I don't know what he said, but I can't. I want Jackie Mason on that.
Well, Fezziwig, he's like just saying, "Oh, okay."
Give me some dialogue.
No more work for today. It's Christmas.
No more work for today. It's Christmas.
Yeah, Fezziwig is
Fezziwig is a blah, blah, blah. James, who's Dick Wilkins?
I don't know.
James Stewart is Dick Wilkins.
You sit here and you do your impressions and you expect the world to remember this piece of shit. Well, you're crazy and you're driving me crazy too, Rich Little. You sit here. Nothing but a lousy.
Peter Falk as the Ghost of Christmas Present. Pardon, I just have one more question, ma'am. Did you screw over Tiny Tim? Mrs. Cratchit is Gene Stapleton as Edith Bunker.
Ah, interesting.
Oh, happy Christmas, Archie. Oh, it's going to be the best Christmas ever. Archie. I mean Ebenezer. I mean Bob Cratchit.
Truman Capote is Tiny Tim. God bless us, everyone. This could be the merriest Christmas yet. This was the best special ever made.
Peter Sellers, Inspector Clouseau is the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come.
Kiddo? Are you here, kiddo?
That is not my dog.
There's actually a Pink Panther marathon on TCM tonight, I think. James Mason, George Burns, and John Wayne as the three businessmen. Come on, George. Do you have your frankincense?
Gracie and I used to slip out behind the Ziegfeld Theater and do a little number on each other.
Oh my God! Don't go blue.
Hey, Pilgrim, here's your myrrh. And finally, Jack Benny as the boy. Yes, Mr. Scrooge. I'm thinking.
The one in the window.
I would say I was at least 80% Rich Little on some of those.
Yes, true. That's true. Oh, that was fun.
All right, Lynn has an actual transcribing question from that same show 15. And you were talking about being in junior high. You performed at Teka?
In junior high, I performed at the Carnegie Hall.
Well, here's the conversation. I asked, when was the first time you got what's the time you remember getting a big public solid laugh intentionally? And you said, I don't remember being that way. I remember being like stammers. Sometimes I thought I was funny. I remember that stuff. But I remember I performed at my junior high graduation. I performed at Teka. Do you know what declamation contest was?
Yeah, it was called a declamation contest.
Okay.
And that was where you would do some kind of a poem or something. So I made fun of the declamation contest.
Okay. So it was just a stutter when you said Teka, probably.
Yeah.
It was, okay.
Because it was at Golden Auditorium.
Stephen Elton Yates writes, Dear Josh, just a quick note to reiterate what the great time the Fiddling Horse premiere in New York City was for me. Just seeing you and Andy was great, and I appreciate how generous you both were with your time. The movie was so enjoyable, funny and quirky in the best possible way. I used the watch test to gauge how much I enjoy a movie. I did not look at my watch until all the lights came up after the movie, so that's a rave from me and my Timex.
That's cool.
In the mid-'80s, I worked for a shitty company who brought in a sales consultant who gave presentations to the sales and sales support staff, very much like the fractional ownership scene you were so great in. It's spooky how similar it is. I have a sense for the schlock. Finally, I plan to catch Andy's show early at Union Hall November 30th. I'm not sure there's any point in telling him that unless he wants me to take him to dinner, which I'd be happy to do. Oops.
I blew that.
Please pass on my greetings.
I don't think he was there.
I bet he was. No, maybe not. I don't know. He would have said hi.
Amelia Fox was there.
Yes. Ryan Peterson wants to know if we've seen the Monterey Pop doc. Yes, I have.
I haven't.
No?
No, is it good?
It's on Criterion. There's a lot of great performances, for sure. Great Janis, great Hendrix.
Is that like 66 or 67 or
67, I think.
God, that's a fun place to do a festival, Monterey.
Steve says, Andy, do you think you can make a bit out of not believing that the couple in Rupert Holmes' Escape Pina Colada song took their mutual attempt at betrayal so well?
I didn't get that.
Do you think you can make a bit out of not believing that the couple in Rupert Holmes' Pina Colada song took their mutual attempt at betrayal so well?
Yeah. The thing is that they put this. I still don't quite get the premise of this. They both put an ad in. They found themselves. Right? Is that the way the song goes? If you like pina coladas,
Yeah.
or getting drunk in the rain, boom, ba-doom, ba-doom.
I've never dove in beyond the chorus, honestly.
Right.
I never listened.
I thought
I just rolled my eyes.
Yeah. I'll do some more homework on it.
Okay. Come back with a bit on that, will you? Pat Hartman says, it came as a surprise, but I too think The Unforgiven is a great movie.
Which I did not see.
Very
and
good.
you still recommend it.
I still recommend it. Probably the best. I think it's the best Clint Eastwood movie.
And did you say you liked the good, bad Hollywood thing? What's his name?
I don't know what you're talking
Pulp
about.
Fiction guy came out with a movie.
Oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I enjoyed watching it. I didn't think it was a great movie, but there's tons of great stuff and great scenes in it.
Yeah.
But it didn't hold together as a great piece of storytelling. Stephen LaFave is back to say, I'm listening to the header is J. Elvis is hot. I'm listening to the show on Monday for a change-up, and man, for the past 4 shows, J. Elvis has been a shot out of a cannon out of the gate. Killer off-the-cuff jokes from the start. Keep it up. But if you don't, I'll still listen and love you guys. I hate it when people pressure me to be 100% of the time.
That's so great. But if you don't worry about it.
All right. Kevin, with the subject life hacks, says, Dear Thought Spiral, yesterday I was at a grocery store and I ran into someone I didn't want to talk to. I used Andy's line, I can't talk, I have ice cream. Despite the fact that I obviously did not have ice cream in my cart and that I was headed towards the ice cream aisle. The other person was very apologetic and let me go on my way. I will be using this line in the future. Does Andy have any additional life hacks he can grace us with?
I think I'm pretty good at leaving parties, but no, I'm not really. I stay too long.
Dylan Thomas says, I shouldn't say how, but I had occasion to speak with Mike Lindell recently. I thought you guys would appreciate this. Mike went off on a rant about the fake news and repeatedly used the phrase brainwashing. Love the show, Dylan.
Well, he was on that Mark Levin's show, which is like the worst.
It's good to be here on Mark Levin's show. It's nice to be on some real media that's not the fake news with all the brainwashing.
I hope he crashes and burns, that guy.
Oh, I intend to fully crash and burn, I assure you. There's more crack in my future. Once you have crack, you'll never go back. Unless you do.
Jeff wants to know, do either of you listen to audio commentaries for movies? What do you think of directors who do endless takes? Stanley Kubrick, David Fincher. What's the most takes CJ did when either of your scenes for the movie, and what's the most takes you've personally heard someone had to go through? I do listen to audio commentaries for movies sometimes. If it's usually it has to be the director.
Right.
But it's a good way to learn stuff. It's a good way to learn about filmmaking.
I haven't listened to it in a long time, maybe 1 or 2, because it seemed that when DVDs first got popular, it was popular to add to the format, like bonus audio.
Right.
And now we have so many things to watch that I'm not going to have a tendency probably to
watch it again.
To watch it again with commentary.
Right. Yeah, it has to be a movie that I know really well.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like we've answered some mail.
I think we got some mail out of our. We got it under our thing. We got some mail out of our heads. Well.
Oh wait, here's one more.
Okay.
Hello. This is from L. My boyfriend Vinny Cavalieri. I'm going to give him all the choice.
Okay.
Is a huge fan of this podcast and of Andy's live shows. He's gone to his Thanksgiving Saturday Brooklyn show for the last 4 years, and I've gone for the last 3. I honestly think it's one of his favorite days of the year.
Wow.
This is some buttering up going on here. This year he chatted with Andy a bit at the end and really wanted to offer him to have a joint together, but chickened out.
Oh.
He's such a huge fan of yours, and I think it would make his year if you would give him a shout out on your podcast.
Vinny! Yo, Vinny!
Vinny, I wish I would have loved to have
always
smoked.
Offer the joint to Andy.
Yes, I will always, unless it's between shows.
Yeah.
Then you don't want me more spaced out.
That's a good caveat.
Yeah.
Offer to him after the show. You have to see.
Yeah, because otherwise you won't be good for you.
Otherwise it's self-sabotage.
Yeah, you're doing it. You have no excuse but your own.
Hope you had a great rest of the time on the East Coast. I'm also a native New Yorker. So grew up on Roosevelt Island, which is interesting.
That is a weird place. Yeah.
So love your local shout-outs. They don't slice the frozen bagels to reduce freezer burn and keep the integrity of the interior dough.
So that is why they do it, right?
Wrap the frozen bagel in tin foil, bake it in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes at 350. It should then be easy to cut in half without blood loss, and toast.
Wow. That's cool. I knew that there had to be a reason.
Yes.
I didn't want to accept it, though. Now I do. I don't want to ruin
Bagel integrity, Andy.
That's the last thing I want to do.
No, that's the surface you're eating. That's what you're buttering. That's the schmear landing.
Well, Josh, this is not the last show of the year.
No, it's not.
We don't even know if we're doing a special show. Probably not.
They're all special shows.
They're all special shows. But we may not give you more homework.
Well, what are we going to watch? The Man Who Came to Dinner? Are we going to watch that for next
I'll watch
week?
that.
All right,
yeah.
Let's watch that for next week.
I thought you watched it already.
No, I've
a long
seen it
time
years
ago.
ago, but I don't know it.
Okay, cool. The Man Who Came to Dinner. Okay.
Or you know what I saw? I saw a play version of it.
Okay, that
ago.
doesn't count.
I've never seen the movie fully. So we'll watch that. Go to iTunes and leave us a nice review and the 5 stars.
Also, give us money if you want.
Well, come on.
No, that's rude.
Come on, Andy.
That's so gross.
On, a little bit.
Gauche. Give us a cup of coffee, but we really want money in coffee form. No, Andy.
No, we want coffee in money form.
Yeah, come on, please.
Either way, go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral and you can support the show on a one-time or monthly basis. If you want to send us an email that may or may not get responded to quickly, send it to us at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com. If you want to buy my album, and you should want that, it's called Chunks.
It's Chunks.
Buy yourself a present.
And until next time, this is this time saying, see you next time.
Bye this time.